Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. Hope you're doing good with best of your health. Welcome to the session. I'm Shakil Ahmed from Training Department of Deanship of eLearning and IT. Today we're going to have discussion about question bank in LMS system. It's basically the connectivity of the last session. In last session, we have discussed about e-assessment. And being a teacher, we all are aware that assessment could have a life cycle, and every assessment life cycle could contain 5 different steps. That step one, it start from the create, and then we do need to deploy, and then take and grading, and in the end we review. And all these 5 steps could let us know that to analyze the assessment of the learning process of a student. And as we know that learning or assessment is not only important for the students, that assessment also important for the teacher, because the teacher is using different kind of methodology for learning. And by analyzing the students in, I mean, like day to day or weekly or monthly, using different type of assessment, using the quizzes or sending them assignments, he or she can analyze that whether the teaching methodology they are using that is effective for the students, or they need to change their criteria. Another thing, that you cannot make decisions, or you cannot make assessment for the students in the same level. For example, in last session we already discussed that, for example, you have 50 students, and it's not possible that all the students could have at the same level of understanding. So teachers need to analyze on individual basis that if 5 or 10 students are performing 100% and remaining are performing 70%, and some might possible performing with 30 to 40%, so how you can meet them, communicate with them, and individually analyze the problems and try to solve with them. Assessment basically tell the teacher about the effectiveness of his her teaching. The basic purpose of the evaluation is to make a judgment about the quality or worth of the educational program, or proficiency of the students' attainment, either the students performing in a better way, or you need to focus more to make them understand that they need to change the behavior towards the learning. But like this was all about the assessment that was normally we perform inside the classroom, inside the university, or in the campus. But COVID-19 pandemic that accelerated changes in the educational system. The spread of COVID-19 has led to the closure of educational institutions all over the world. Such closure enhanced the development of the online learning environments within those institutions, so that learning would not be interrupted. It's hard to deny that computer and online learning have taken a prominent role in modern society. From the smartphones in our pocket to smart devices controlling our appliances at home, and everything in between, computer technology is everywhere. And it should come as no surprise that the use of computer in education has completely transformed traditional education. Computers in the classrooms have multiple benefits for both students and their teachers. You can say in modern teaching methodology, computers are used actively in education to improve the quality and learning outcomes. Teachers can use audio, video, graphic aids, using computer to prepare lessons plans and many more things. But all these things are helping us. And one more research I want to share with you, that according to the article published in an internet page, and that was the name of the future of computers, that 65% of the time the computer is used for the internet. It means that all of us are spending our 65% of our time on the internet, using different kind of social media platforms, using for learning, using for to playing the game, or many more things which happening with that one. So what would have to do with this kind of internet activity, and that we already discussed that COVID-19 completely changed the way of life, the lifestyle, and I mean, like just because of the social distancing and closure of institutions, almost all the traditional education, especially in Saudi Arabia, been transformed on online learning from last 1 year almost. This is the, I mean, like gonna be second semester online. So we do need to make understanding with the learning management system, that how we can utilize that learning management system for our virtual classrooms, for assessment, and how we can create different type of question banks. And this type of question banks or pools can make us this can make the easy way of processing of assessment, to send the questionnaire to the students to analyze their learning capability. And the best way to predict the future is to create it. So let's take a start for our today's topic, that is question bank and question pool. This question pool is almost identical to test queries and questions. They can contain feedback and all the other elements of the test questions, but they don't contain point values. You need to set them out by yourself. Instructors typically use pools to create a database of questions. They can reuse them in multiple tests, in queries, in quizzes, and for their assignments. For example, that an instructor for a sustainable living course can create a question pool for each of the central topic taught: diet, housing, and energy, and many more things. The instructor can then use these pools in multiple tests and in other courses as well. The best thing for the online learning is that you need to create resources one time, and you can reuse them multiple times and multiple locations. For example, one teacher is teaching for 5 classes the same subject, so he do not need to recreate the resources multiple time. He just need to create resources, upload to the system, and he or she can reuse all these resources for all of their for the students, for the different classes. You just need to import and export their questions, their assignments, their course contents from one place to other by one click. In simple words, you can say the question pool is a collection of questions that is stored for repeated use. You can create one database, and in that database, you can recall your questions even you have created 1 year ago. And this database or pool system can make you able to upload questions for every semester. And every semester, for example, you are uploading 100 questions, so semester 2 you could have 200 or 300, 400, 500. So as many questions you could have it, you can play with that question pool as per your requirement, as per your need. And another good thing that pools can give the results, that for example, to avoid the cheating, there are multiple options available in the time of implementation or deployment of the test. You can randomize the answers, even you can randomize the questions, and you can make sure by using the system like specifications, or using some different kind of tools, that every student, for example, in one class, there are 30 students are sitting, so every student can receive the different question. And even if he or she received the same similar questions, but there are shuffling of the answers, so they could not manage to cheat with each other. So I think so this is the best way. to follow the steps online and to create some kind of assessment to assess or analyze in a better way. So steps to follow, that what we do need in our pools assessment. First of all, we are going to have a question bank using pool. The second one is you need to build. First, it means you need to create the question bank. Then you need to build a test, and in the last one, in last steps, you need to deploy a test. All these three steps are you need to follow in a sequence. Creation of the question bank, that is completely different, and building a test doesn't mean you are deploying the test. Build the test means you have using the different criteria, different pool sets, you can create the test what you want to deploy for the students. But that is at the building stage. In the stage 2, that is not available for the students, so students would not be aware what you are doing, but you have to prepare and keep it with you. And in the last stage during the exam, like a specific time, you can deploy that test to the students to implement it. In between that, there is two different options available: add random block questions in the set, and added the number of questions to display, added the points per questions, a random block and question set. There are two options available at the time of building a test, and we would have more understanding with both of them options, that how they can use it. We do have a detailed discussion in coming slides. Once you have chosen random block, either random block or question set, then you can add the number of questions to display, that how many questions you want to display. For example, from one pool, there are 50 questions, but you want to display the 10 questions to the students to answer. So you can adjust all these steps, and all the settings, you can do it by yourself in the system. Added the points per questions. This is another good option for the teacher, that for example they have 10 questions, and they belongs, all these questions belong to different sections of the subject. So every point can be very, you can make changes as per your requirement. For example, for a question number 1 need the 10 points, the question number 5 needs the 5 points. So as per your requirement, you can adjust it. In the last, you need to deploy. Once you've done everything, deploy mean now test is ready to available for the students, and student can attempt that test. And after deployment, you can edit setting options, all these things. Before attempt, you can make the setting and options changeable. You can set the password, or availability of the test, or the time or date. Everything you can change before the attempt or before the time of attempt. So let's take a start. We do have very useful tutorial with me. So I'm gonna have a tutorial how to create a pool that would give you an idea that how you can take a start with the question pool.
Instructors can use pools to create a collection of questions to use in multiple assessments. Pools group questions so that they can be imported and exported. Pools are also used to create random blocks and for question sets for use in tests and surveys. This tutorial will show you how to build a pool, set details, and add questions to it. To begin, access the Tests, Surveys, and Pools tool from the Course Tools section of the control panel. Next, access the Pools page, and then click Build Pool. Complete the pool information page, and then click Submit. Now you can create questions, find existing questions, or upload questions to the pool. For this example, we will select Find Questions to add existing questions to the pool. Search for questions by expanding and selecting criteria to narrow your search. Questions that match the criteria will automatically appear in the center frame. Select the questions you want to add to the pool. You can select the questions individually, or you can add all the questions by selecting the checkbox at the top of the checkbox column. Now click Submit. Let's review. First, access pools and add a new pool. Then enter details, find questions, select the questions, and then submit.
Keep in mind that pools are never deployed or made visible to the students. As I said earlier, that the time you are trying to deploy something, it doesn't mean like they are available for the student as well. In pool section in this tutorial, you have seen there are three main options which were important to discuss. That was number one, create a question. If you do not have a question bank, you are new, so you need to create the question sets, and you need to create the pools. And if you already have created the pool, then you can reuse the question, that is called find the questions. And the third option is available to upload the questions. If you already have a Word file or the Excel file, and you want to upload in the system, you can do it. And we have a detailed discussion about how to upload the questions in later on slides. The next section is this. In this section, we have to discuss about question set versus random block. Why that is important? Because at the time of building the test, you need to follow one of them. So we do need to understand what is the difference between random block and question set. In simple words, it's a long discussion about question set versus a random block. But in one sentence, I can tell you that random blocks draw questions from pools only. So you can't include questions from other tests or surveys. A simple example is that, for example, you have 50 questions and you want to deploy a test to the students. By using random block, you would not be able to select question number. For example, you need 10 questions to deploy to the students. You would not be able to select one by one from the 50 questions. For example, you are looking for 1, 5, 7, 8, 10, 15. I mean, like, your specified question would not be able to select over there. Random block would have select by itself from the 50 questions to send them to the students to attempt it. But question set is an advanced shape of random block. If you choose the question set to build a test, it means that, for example, you have 50 questions and three section of your fill in the blanks, and some like multiple choices questions, some short answer questions. But you want to choose the questions by your choice from 50 questions. So you can make check boxes are available. So you can check question number 1, question number 5, 7, 11, 20, 25, 30, and you can collect 10 or 20 questions as per your specified requirement. So from that selected 20 questions has to be like implemented or sent to the students to attempt it. So major difference is like in random block, you cannot choose questions by yourself, and you cannot choose or include questions from other tests or surveys which already you have created. But in question set, you can do all these options. You can choose by your choice, or you can bring the questions from the other tests and surveys you already created. So these two have the different functionality. But sometimes, like random block give you an options to deploy the test in a very simple and easy way. You do not need to worry about selection of the questions or something like that. But for example, in some kind of subjects, you are looking for some customized settings, so you have to go with the question set. So we're gonna see how to create random block. I have two different tutorials by using random block and question sets. So this would give you an idea that how you can create or build a test using random block. So stay tuned, look at that one. As we discussed, that a random block are used to be sure, I mean, like for the each student receive a different version of test, and random blocks draw questions from pools. I mean, like the first point is similar for definitely for both of the options, which random blocks are used to show that each student receiving the different version of the test. So you do need to have a long list of questions, 50 questions. For example, you need 10 questions or 5 questions to display for the student. So you would have 50 or 100 or 200 questions. So system can shuffle or I mean, like make them changes and send to the students and try to make it confirm that every student is receiving the different question set to attempt it. So here is a tutorial. Let's have a look.
When creating a test, you can use random blocks to ensure that each student receives a different version of the test. A random block is a set of questions retrieved at random from one or more question pools to be presented each time the test is taken. This tutorial shows you how to create a random block, add the random block questions to a test, edit the number of questions to display, and edit the points per question. To begin, create or access a test. You can access the Tests tool in the Course Tools section of the Control panel. We will edit an existing test and add a random block. Access the test's contextual menu and select Edit. On the test canvas, point to Reuse Question on the action bar to access the drop-down list and select Create Random Block to begin searching for questions. In the Create Random Block pop-up window, select one or more pools. Random blocks draw questions from pools only, not other tests. Narrow your search by selecting at least one question type to include in the test. All questions that meet the criteria appear on the right side of the pop-up window. Click Submit. A success message states the random block of questions has been added to the test. Next, assign the number of questions to display to students. Use a number less than the total number of questions to be sure that different questions are presented each time the test is accessed. Click Submit. The same point value is assigned to each question in the random block. You cannot assign separate point values for individual questions in the same random block. Therefore, you may want to only include questions of approximately the same difficulty. Click Preview Questions that match selected criteria to expand or collapse the list of questions. You can view and edit individual questions. You cannot delete questions in the random block. Click OK at the bottom of the page to return to the Tests page. Let's review. First, access a test, then create a random block, add the random block of questions to the test, edit the number of questions to display, edit the points per question, and submit.
So that is a really important point. If you don't want to, I mean, like want a questions to be included in your random block, you cannot delete it. That is not possible. So keep in your mind while creating a random block. But one more thing that is important that. In random block in one test you can add multiple random blocks or question sets as per your requirements. You can create different sets of your like paper and test, and you can add them out. The next one is in this section we're going to see that how to create a question set from from the question bank. So let's have a look. This one, a question set is a collection of questions drawn from selected test and pool. You can use question sets when you create test. You choose how many questions you want to be in a set. The questions are randomly chosen each time a student takes the test. And the last one is you choose the number of questions from the question set to show For example, you can show 3 questions out of 50. The questions are then randomly distributed, so each student sees a different set of 3 questions. And good thing is that in question set, you can choose questions as per your requirement. And once you build a test, if you do not want any question, you can delete them out easily, which was not possible in random block. So let's have a look this tutorial.
There are a number of ways to reuse questions that you've already got in Blackboard when building an assessment. The one we're going to look at here is creating a question set. We're going to go to Reuse Question, and we're going to go to Create Question Set, and then we're going to choose the questions we want to look at, and we're going to choose the questions we want to use as our set. Typically, these are questions that relate to the same thing. We click Submit, and we've built our question set. We have 3 questions in this set, and we choose how many of those questions get displayed to the student. So we have 3 questions in this set. We can show them 1 of those 3, 2 of those 3, or all 3 if we wish.
So that's all. It was easy. So it's a short tutorial for that one, that you can choose multiple questions in the question set. Whatever the questions you want to display for the students, you can go ahead and you can set the points for each questions as per your requirement. And that was a major difference between them, that if you want to delete the question later on from the test, you can do very easily. In this section, I mean, like till now we have seen that how to create the questions, how to create the pool, and then random block, and then we have seen about the question set. Now the time is the part 2. This is step 2, how to deploy a test. So we are going to deploy the test. So this is a complete video. This I have like recorded earlier, so this would give you an idea that in this section we are going to see that create a pool of questions, build a test, and deploy a test. Mean, like, this is a complete video from start to end, so this will give you more idea how to carry on. Video, we're gonna show you how to create a questions pool in Blackboard and how we can use them in e-exam. Here is our goals. So let's take a start. Log into your course. In the bottom, in course management, click on course tools, and you can find out test, surveys, and pools. Click on pools, build pool, name the pool. Red static mean is compulsory. You can go with description and instructions and click on submit. Now to time to create a question set for pool. There are 16 types of questions you can add in the pool. I'm going to start with fill in the blanks. Question title. Then start with the question. Add the answers and how many answers you wanted to go with, 1, 2, or multiple options. Case sensitive, it's up to you. All the settings you can make as per your requirement. Once you're done, on the bottom you can find out submit and continue another. It means you need to create for 10 or 20 or 50 questions. You can follow this option, and once you're done you can click on submit. Here is one question in this pool. I'm going to create another type of questions in the same pool. Multiple choices. I have some questions, so I'm going to copy and paste to save the time. Select the options and choose according to your requirements. Partial credit if you want. And here is number of answers, minimum 4 and maximum you can go ahead for a long way. I'm going with 4. On every answer on left side you can find out a small radio button. It means the correct answer you need to mention so the system can understand which question is correct for automatic grading. You can go ahead with correct response feedback and incorrect response feedback. And the same way you can continue, submit and continue. Otherwise, once you're done, you can go ahead with submit. I click on submit and continue, mean I wanted to add some more questions. You can make settings for every question individually. And this is the correct answer, so I select that one and go with the same options, correct response feedback and incorrect response. Click on submit, and here is a pool with 3 different type of questions. All the questions you add in this pool would be shown over here. You can go ahead question settings, and you can make settings as per your requirement. All the options have the descriptions, so you can read them before choosing. Click on submit. Click on OK, and here is a pool, Blackboard pool. You can add it, delete, copy, whatever you want to do, you can do it later on. Go in your content. Now it's time to deploy a
question sets or an e-exam using the pool. Create a test, name the test, and submit. Here, instead of creation, go ahead, reuse questions, and here you can find out two types, random blocks and question sets. What is the difference between both of them? Random blocks are created by selecting a pool or other test and choosing the number of questions that the test randomly selects. But on other hand, question sets is more advanced version of random blocks where you can select specific questions from pools or other tests that the test randomly selects for the students. You can set the points. Click OK, and the test is created. Now you can set the options for deployment. Now this is the same way of deployment. You can choose the options whatever you want it. You can use the password. You can restrict the students on specific locations to attempt the questions, attempt the e-exam. Click on submit, and here is your test. Attempt the test normally. Save and submit. And here is a result.
So that tutorial was a complete tutorial, started from the scratch and till deployment of the test. You have seen all the steps. There was one by one, and I hope you get it.
Video, we're gonna show you how to create a.
In this section, we are going to see the most important part of this session. I believe you already using, creating the question pool and deployment from last couple of years for Blackboard, because we are using Blackboard more than 2 years ago. We have started. But the most important part, upload questions in test pool. Normally, we discuss a lot about a Word file to upload the, test in LMS system. But today I'm gonna give you another options using Excel. That in Excel sheet, if you create a question bank, that would be more easier than the Word file, and it more easy and give you a more chances and choices to set your pool to upload. So let's have a look with this video. Before you begin, you need to understand there are a few prerequisites which need to understand the questions and the file you want to upload must meet the guidelines detailed in this topic. And what does it mean? Like, questions that contain an error will fail to upload. Questions without errors will upload successfully. If there is an error and you did not follow up all the details or guidelines, this question would not be uploaded and it would be failed. And all the successful questions would be uploaded successfully which do not have any error. The system doesn't check for duplicate questions. So for example, you have multiple questions, the similar identical questions multiple times, so system would not check for this one, so it would be uploaded automatically. So you need to you're responsible to check this duplication. And uploaded questions automatically default to the point value that they are assigned when uploaded. At the time of upload, you need to decide what a number, a point value you need to add it, 10, 5, 2, 1, whatever the value you want to add, you have to add it at the time of upload. If you didn't set a default value, questions will automatically have a point value of 0. You will have to add a point value for each question. So at the time of upload, you need to, like keep in your mind that you have set a point value for all the questions. Otherwise, it will be uploaded as a 0 value. File format guidelines need to follow all, and the next one is each file that contains questions to be uploaded must conform the to these guidelines, and each file must be tab delimited txt file. It should not be any other file. You can edit this file in Microsoft Excel or in a text editor. Blackboard recommends that each batch file not exceed 500 records because of timeout restrictions associated with most browsers. So try to add maximum 500 questions to upload. And if you have more than 500, try to upload 2 files. Don't include a header row in the file. Header row need to be blank over there. Don't include blank lines between records. The blank line will be processed and return an error. So there should not be a gap in between the lines. Include only one questions per row. The first field in each row defines the type of questions. You need to follow the guidelines and steps. There are specific codes you need to follow for each question, for each row. I will show you in the next slides what type of specific characters you can use to differentiate the question sets. Next one is separate each field in a row with a tab, and correct, incorrect, true, false, and other words that identically identify answers must be in English. Do not use any other language. Here is a sample for preparing a file that multiple choices. The structure would be MC. You need to start in column 1, that is MC, and then tab question, text, tab, answer, text, tab. Mean every portions you need to click on the tab to move on the next column to add it, or if you are adding the questions in Word, so you need to press the tab to differentiate all the characters. So MC, tab questions, question text, and then tab answer text, and then tab correct or incorrect, and then tab answers to text, tab correct. So all these formats you need to follow them out. You can see that there is a specific sequence and you need to follow this sequence. And for example, you have a different type of questions. Number one, it was multiple choices and you use a customized number that was a code MC. If you have multiple answers, you need to choose the code MA. The remaining part is in the similar way. If you have true false, you need to choose the code that is TF in the start, and essay ESS, and ordering ORD. So all these codes you need to remember at the time of preparation Excel or Word file. Next one is matching. If you have a matching questions, you need to tab in start of the questions, that is MAT, and fill in the blank FIB, and fill in multiple blanks, that is FIB underscore plus. So here we go. We have a tutorial. So keep in your mind all the, before beginning, you need to prepare your file as per the recommended guidelines, and then you have a look at how you can upload it.
Instructors may author questions offline, save them in a specially formatted text file, and then upload questions into an existing test, survey, or pool. Once uploaded, questions may be edited and used like questions that have been authored in the system. This tutorial will show you how to format a question file, access a test, and upload the question file to the test. It's easy to author your test questions in Microsoft Excel and save them as a text file. However, to successfully upload a question file, certain rules must be followed. The first column of the Excel file must indicate the question type. In this example, MC is for multiple choice, TF is for true-false, MA is for multiple answer, and ESS is for essay. The second column contains the question text. The third column is the answer to the question. For questions with multiple answers, the following columns must indicate if the given answers are correct or incorrect. For detailed formatting instructions, please refer to help.blackboard.com. When you are done creating questions, save the file as a tab-delimited.txt file. Once your file has been created and saved, access the Tests, Surveys, and Pools tool from the Course Tools section of the control panel. Access the contextual menu for the test to which you want to add the questions, and click Edit. Next, click Upload Questions, and then click Browse to locate and select the question file on your computer. You can set the default point value for all questions in the file. If no point value is specified, the questions will have a point value of 0, which can be changed later. When you are ready, click Submit. The uploaded questions now appear in the test Canvas page. From here, you can edit the questions and set or change the point values as well. Let's review. First, create a question file in Excel, then access a test, survey, or pool to which the questions will be added. Upload the question file, set the default point value, and submit.
Formatting errors in individual questions in a file will cause the questions to fail to upload, not the entire file. Sometimes if you have any problem with your questions, it might possible will not let you know, will not let you to upload the question. So you be careful and be very careful to follow all the guidelines to upload a file or to prepare a questionnaire over there inside that file. So once you're done, you can easily upload any of the file. The next portion is in this section, we're going to see that import or export tests, survey, and pools that, for example, you have multiple classes and multiple subjects, and you want to share your test and with other teachers, or you want to deploy the same test for the different classes, how you can export them and then import in the new courses. This is really important section, so stay tuned.
You can export a test or survey from one course and import it to another course. This tutorial shows you how to export a test from one course and import it to another. The same process applies to exporting and importing surveys. To begin, from the Course Tools section of the control panel, access Tests, Surveys, and Pools. Open Tests. Access the contextual menu for a test, and select Export. Choose to save the file on your computer. Do not open the file. Depending on the browser you are using, your dialog box may look different. Select a destination folder on your computer and save. Now we can add this test to another course. First, let's navigate to the other course. Use the Course-to-Course navigation feature and access the Tests page. Select Import Test. Browse your computer for the exported test file, select the file, and click Open. The file name is listed under Test Import. Submit to continue the import process. The test was successfully imported. Click OK to see it listed on the Tests page. You can use the test contextual menu to edit it. Notice that the test is not deployed. If you want students to have access to the test, your next step is to add the test to a course area. For example, you can add the test to a content area by pointing to Assessments and selecting Test. Let's review. First, access the test tool, export a test, and save the file to your computer. Go to another course's test tool and import the zip file from your computer. If you want students to access the test, you must deploy it in a course area.
Do not edit exported.zip files. They will not function correctly when imported. So once you are going to like export something, do not make any
You can
changes.
export a test or
You do not need to make any changes with that zip file. If you do like this way, it might possible there is not I mean like imported like in a correct way, and you cannot use the same file for the test purpose. This was very important options, but it was very easy to export and import. In the same way, there is option available to export the course and import the course as well. If by end of the semester you can export your course by using different I mean like all the contents and whatever you've been uploaded, you can export on your system and keep it over there, and in the next semester you can upload and use the same content as well. That's all from today. I mean, like it was pretty technical workshop. So we try to help you out, and I try to bring out the best tutorials and easy tutorials which can help you to understand all the options step by step. And I hope you get it everything. I gonna I mean like give you access to the mic so you can ask the question, please. Here is a question. Let me wait a moment, please. So you do have an option to unmute to ask the question. So let me, I mean, like answer the question. Here is one question. Is Dean, pool questions are always imported with me in a zip file for sure. Definitely, all the import or export been done in the zip file. No issue at all. There was one question that please record the session. We do have recording for all the sessions. If you are looking for any previous sessions, we have a playlist, so you can go ahead with this one. Already shared like playlist with you. Oh, technical questions. Ms. Kiran, would like to know how to free space. The problem we are facing is even after the questions are deleted from the pool. The reason behind that once you try to delete the question pool at that time, but it's been deleted from you, but still available in the database. So you need to communicate with the technical team of the Blackboard and give them your ID, and they can delete it from your ID easily. But you cannot delete. Sometime even you delete it, but that would remain available in the database. So they continue containing the space. For sure, everything is available. All the session is recorded, so you can um, refresh this video to view all the. I opened the mic just to ask the questions, not to listen to music, please. Dr. Ahmed, why some questions in pool not upload fixed when preparing it might possible they could have the extension issue, so you need to see the .jpg file, and might possible this is the only issue, otherwise there should not be any issue. Provide the contact number or email, please. Yes, you can communicate us like if you have any training related issues, you can send me the email. But if you have any technical issues, you need to communicate with the university department. I can give you the email.